And welcome to the live. Every time I come out here, it seems like more and more junk is collecting in the yard. And I'm getting more and more behind on my work. These guys, this is what happened in the past week. So my tractor's not working, not fixed yet. Tried to drag a bale because these guys were out of a bale and it had rained. So this is as far as I got. Hi, Neil. So I decided it's close enough to the fence. I don't want to wreck my truck. It started sliding in the mud. We unhooked the bale and there's a gate on the other side that I'm able to drive a loop around. So we were able to get the truck out, but the bale's stuck here and I'm forking it every day. Hi, Scott. But this is what happens when you don't have a bale in the feeder. He's standing in it and it goes to waste. Quite a bit goes to waste. And the reason these guys are now locked up in here, so I dropped the bale, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago, or drug it here. And then one day, my daughter and I are she's trying to renovate her bedroom. I'm trying to get the kitchen done. And she went outside to do some sanding, so not to make a mess in the house, and she noticed that Ty was running around. Hi, Beth. Oh, these guys make a pretty picture. Hi, Peter. So Ty was running back and forth. I opened the gate, got some oats, and she kind of walked behind him. We got him back in. And I left it at that. I didn't bother going anywhere and doing anything. But then it was a day later and Ty got out again. Hi, Des. And there's so many flies out today. The rain's gone. So the next day, all 3 of them were out because I came out to do chores and none of them were coming up. I went out to the pasture and nobody was there, but I kept whistling for them and they came from the north side. And so I knew that Ty had led the little guys, or the young guys, Rip and Casey, out. So that's where I'm going to take you guys. I'm going to go for a walk to see where they went through the fence. I know there was 1 wire down the last time I went for a walk. I'm wondering if 2 wires are down because these guys typically don't walk over wires. But if the whole thing is down, they are going to easily get out. But let's see. Hi, Jovita. Hi, Tiffany. So we lifted the feeder up, was going to throw it on top of the bale. Hi, James. Thank you all for coming in. Oh, I don't know what I was going to say about the feeder. It's easily to drop it over, but I just couldn't get that bale to budge after, well, I had to pause at the fence. And that's what the problem was. If the fence was open and I didn't have to stop the truck, I could have just kept going and I had the momentum. I wouldn't have gotten the truck stuck. Or the truck wasn't stuck. It was sliding on muck. Anyway, I'm just gonna do some treats before I take off for my walk. There we go, Ty. That's a dog in the background. So Casey and Rip, oh, he spit that out. Casey and Rip now know how to, or they know that apples are good for them. So they've been taking them. And usually what I do is just toss a whole bunch of apples on the other side. These are really good apples. But unfortunately, wind and rain pull them off the trees. There you go. Hi, Bud Files. So I got one more week left until I'm back at work. I feel like this summer has mostly been the waiting game for me. I've done a lot of running around and a lot of appointments, but I'm still waiting for the fence to come in that I ordered. Hi, Elliot. That's supposed to get here in a week. What else am I waiting for? I have an appointment for my truck to get fixed. My car's been assessed, waiting for that to get fixed. And renovating kitchens is a very, very slow process. All right, I'm gonna start walking. The weather is very nice though. Oh, there's another project. I'll swing by here and show you guys what I was doing. So I'm not sure who knocked down the board. I think it was the donkey. So I had to go buy boards. And I did a little part, but then there was a gap left. I just bought I think it's 1x6. I don't even know what you call these. But I know these are the boards that people in town buy for their fences in their yard. And I thought this is going to be the easiest thing to put up. Of course, OSB would cover it completely. There wouldn't be any gaps between the boards. But if you see what happens to the OSB after years, it rots away. So I do have quite an expensive wall put in here, but it serves a purpose. I can reuse these boards if I decide to take this down one day. But anyway, I didn't buy enough boards the first time, and then somebody kept knocking. I just have that board propped up. They kept knocking it down, so I went and I got all the boards ready for the back wall to be done. I just haven't done it yet. But I've also closed the horses off. I started making this little area, which I'm gonna tear down. I made it for the pigs, and I put their little swimming pool there, and I was gonna build them a little mini shelter that I could just pull by hand. But I didn't even get that far. I let the pigs out one day, and I hadn't stapled down this fence. They picked up the fence and they walked right back in the barn. So I figured if they want to stay in the barn this year, they can. I guess it was just too hot on the day that I did it, and they were covered in flies. I think I told this story already, but it was so bad. And I sprayed them with horse fly spray, and it took care of it. And because of the rain we've got, the grass is finally growing. This stuff didn't burn up because it is in the shade. Oh, I got more of those blue flowers growing on the side here, amongst all the poison ivy. But yeah, the rain is making it to where I probably could mow this area again. And this is the way I had to drive the truck out once I had that bale wedged up to the fence. So vehicle does fit good down here. I just want to tidy up the sides. My chickens, they have a 20 by 35 enclosure. So they have a big yard, but they can't free range. I wish they could, just anywhere, because then I would have less bugs. I wouldn't have all these grasshoppers. But unfortunately, the dogs would play tag with them. That's a lot of space, but still, Havita, did you see the ground? There's not one blade of grass in there. So I don't know. And I had to dig that fence. I dug it a foot into the ground because when I first moved here, okay, here's my round pen. This is the bush behind the barn. Oh, Mr. Chubby's coming. Hi, PSV. There's a fox den that I tried to find it in the winter and I didn't do well. It's probably overgrown, but because I don't have any more fox. The dogs pretty much killed the babies and brought them into the yard for me years ago. Somebody's having fun digging this out. I don't know what they found in there. So that's why I had to dig the chicken fence. I've had so many, oh, look at these holes. Whoop, Bo's smelling something. I've had so many ducks taken, chickens taken, because something was digging under the fence. And I was getting tired of it. So one summer when the kids were still with me here, I just said, that's it. We're spending all day doing this. And we dug a trench to fit that 20 by 30. So of course, this has been down for a while, but oh, I see it right here. I'm assuming that this was lowered because of donkey going in and out. And let me back up to give you guys a better perspective here. Do you see that the barbed wire is on the ground? What did Neil say? Yeah, a gopher probably. But now I know why they were out. So this is an easy fix. The fence just needs to be tightened, and I need to bring some staples here. But all of this one day I want to replace. It's just not going to happen this year because these poles are they're pretty sad. Like when you look at the thickness, that's like what, maybe a 2-inch post? That's too small. And I need to come and pick up all of this. I had a hay stack here last year. And so in the middle of winter when it's 40 below, you just put the twine, and I'm sure the wind has blown some of it around. And then I come back in the summer. Well, summer's almost over, but this is when I would pick it up and take it to the burn pile. So I saw on, I think it was on Instagram, people making rosehip jam. Is that a thing? Because I've got tons of them around. I should be picking them. I know you can make tea. And all of these trees just have grown up since I moved in here. This cottonwood tree did not exist when I first came here. So funny it survived all the horses in here. Do things look different, or did another tree fall down here? Maybe it's just because I'm coming up from the wrong, or the opposite side that I usually come up. So that's the tree that sold the place to me. I think I've said that before too. It wasn't because there was this awesome house. It was because of this tree and the pasture. I think it's just because I'm coming from the other side that it looks like another one fell, but well, This has obviously been sitting here for a long time, but maybe I didn't take notice of it because there's one on the other side and I'm usually walking on that other side. But I just noticed where it came from. Right there. And it's funny how, like, why? Is it the wind that snaps them? I feel like there's another branch that's gonna go. You guys can't see it. Right there. Kind of put it in the center there. Feels like that's gonna snap off one day. There's a branch that snapped off. I really should come here and collect all this because this would be great firewood. It's been drying here for years. Although, if I leave this big trunk, because I can't cut this up anyway, this would be an excellent place to just sit. If anyone knows anyone that carves, this stuff would be excellent to rip off and carve in. And on the other side of this is my field that hasn't been cut. I don't know if it's going to get cut this year. We're heading into September, and it's usually done somewhere in July. But this whole branch bends over and comes right down to the ground. So I don't know if it's gonna fall off one day or I'm gonna have to trim this so that it doesn't grow too much into the road. I think I'm gonna head back and go investigate that hole that the dogs were digging. I have to walk back through the old entrance where the goats were. Oh, and I've been thinking about how some people have been commenting, although it's been on their lives, not on my life, because I'm not sure that they come to watch, that I need to turn the camera around. And I guess the reason it's pointed in this direction is because I'm walking and I want to show you what I'm walking to. Yes, Neil, that's why I named it Cottonwood Ranch. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for coming in. Where was I? Oh, turning the camera around. Okay, so. I think it gets dark at about 8:30 now. And if I were to ever change my live time, which I said I'm doing it at 12:30 on Sunday right now, although I don't know if I want to go another year walking in the 20 below weather. But I thought I could sit in the barn and have the camera on me and the horses. I do find it awkward to think of sitting for an hour, although I don't have to stay on for an hour, but just sitting at staring at the screen and not showing you guys anything for an hour. And I know there's plenty of channels that do it. Usually it's a couple of people, and it's very different when you got two people sitting at a camera. But the ones that do it solo and do it successfully and have an interesting live usually have a lot more viewers and a lot more subscribers. So I was thinking that that could be one of my ideas, is to be in the barn with the colts. And it's not these colts that I'm talking about, it's the other three that have to come home. And that'll probably happen in October, is when I'd wean them. I've got 2 fillies and a colt this year, which you would have seen in my other video with Teddy and the girls. So I gotta come back here to where the gate was. I'd taken the gate down because I made that pig pen. Look at all the poison ivy. I'm turning the nice red colors, but... Oh, and Cletus comes out of it, just walking in the bush. I gotta remember not to hug him today. So yeah, the fence or the gate is now gone. And one day, I'm not doing this by hand. I'm waiting till the tractor's fixed, because it's so easy to pull these out. You just wrap a rope or a chain around it and hook it to the bucket of the tractor, lift the bucket up, and they slide right out. And that takes a minute or two, whereas digging it could take 15-20 minutes, digging it by hand. And so yeah, the goats used to eat all this out. But then that was the problem. Even though this area looks big, it wasn't big enough for the amount of goats I had, because they ate it all out and then they wanted out. But it's been a long time since I had goats, because the shed that I made for them, a little lean-to, of course it's OSB and it does rot faster, but it's pretty much, that needs to be taken down too. And then in the middle of all these weeds, I've got one flower growing. Although it looks like more are gonna bloom soon. All right, I'm hoping nothing comes out of here. I came to investigate what this big dig was. It doesn't even look like there's a hole. It just looks like maybe they got a scent of something and started digging. There's nothing here, is there? Hey, Lulu? Well, that wasn't too interesting. Although Cletus is digging another hole. And I can hear squirrels in the background. This is the way they dig. You getting anything, Cletus? Oh, I could watch these guys all day. Well, I'm gonna head back to the horses. This isn't much of a walk today. Although I walked right by these and I never noticed them. These are cool. I think I'm just gonna do a short live today. Wasn't much for walking today, and it is because I know that I have to go back and fix that fence now that I know where it's down. I'm still working on my kitchen. Although everything below the sink has been placed, I'm just putting in 2x2s to put the frame up, and then I have to cut some doors, get those painted and put on. I'll probably make a short of that when it comes, or when I get it done. And once the fence is fixed, I can let these guys out to that big open area. Although the food that they're eating is right here, it's good for them to be in an area where they could stretch out. It's like the three amigos here, the way they line up. Oh, that was another thing too. When my daughter's renovating her room, she was looking through old boxes of stuff, and she found my battery charger for my Canon camera. It's nothing that takes videos, but I get way better pictures on that compared to my phone. So I'm gonna have to charge that up and see if I can get some stuff done. Get some pictures taken. I better just hang out with these guys till the 30-minute mark. That might be a good place to stop. I haven't done anything with these guys since their, if you want to call it surgery, just letting them heal up. Yeah, sunsets and the horses in the field, because that was the one picture I do have. That was kind of the beginning of spring. That's when the tractor died that day, and my daughter was walking back to the yard, and she just snapped it with her phone, so that's why it looks a little bit blurry, because hers is still at 10 something. But it's hard to get these guys on film because look at all these flies. They come right up to me. Look at him. His tongue is just filthy. Cletus needs some exercise. So I'll take a step back to get them in the shot, and they take 2 steps forward. And all you guys get is ears. Oh yeah, go into the bush. That's another thing that, there's so many things. I could just come up with a never-ending list. I'm gonna show you guys. Because when I had the truck coming through here, I got out my Saker saw and I chopped all these trees down, and I didn't do a pretty job. I was just trying to get them out of the way, and my daughter was dragging the bigger branches. Some of the trees were pretty big. She drug them out of here, and I just dropped the small ones, figuring once they dry up, I'll take them out. And then this is where some of those poisonous mushrooms are growing. Those are, when they're smaller, they're mistaken for shaggy manes, which is a prized mushroom in the UK, I think we were reading. But those ones are not them. Those are the poisonous ones. So there is the alleyway that the horses access, because there's nothing but bush in between here and that open pasture I was in. I want to straighten it out, save some lumber by making a more direct route, but that's my direct route. You can't even see. But there's some rotten trees, there's some small ones, and I hate cutting down oak, but say for instance, this one right here, this one isn't too pretty. The bark is like split open. And if I thin out the bush, that means the oak trees in the background, like that one that you can't see very good, it'll open it up more for them to grow bigger. So I want to make a more direct route here, but I think I may wait until all the leaves are gone. So, and as I move closer and closer, these guys are still following me. Just want some attention, hey? Gotta get you guys fly masks. Maybe next year, because this year's almost done. But I've hit 30 minutes. I think I'm gonna stop here and get back to thinking about all the work that I have to get done. I don't know. We'll see if either I'm gonna keep doing maybe shorter lives on the Sunday. I don't know. I still feel like I'm up in the air about it, and I know I've asked and Javita's given me the times, but we'll see. I know I need to go out and make more regular videos more often. But anyway, thank you guys for coming in, and I'll see you next Sunday, even if it is for a short little time. Until then.